Hello, friends. Have you ever noticed that some of the most successful people in the world are often the quietest people in the room? They do not constantly talk about their achievements. They do not feel the need to announce every plan, every dream, or every step they are taking. While many people spend their time trying to prove themselves, truly successful people often choose silence. This raises an important question. Why do successful people stay quiet? Is it because they are shy? Is it because they lack confidence? Or is there something much deeper behind their silence? The truth is that silence is not weakness. In many situations, silence is power. Successful people understand that words are valuable. They know that energy is limited. They understand that attention is precious. Most importantly, they know that results speak louder than promises. In today's world, silence has become rare. Social media has created a culture where people feel the need to share everything. Every thought, every meal, every achievement, every goal, and every emotion is displayed publicly. Many people believe that if they are not constantly visible, they are falling behind. They think that success means being seen all the time. But truly successful individuals often follow a completely different philosophy. They understand that talking about goals is not the same as achieving them. Psychologists have discovered something fascinating. When people publicly announce their goals, they often experience a false sense of accomplishment. Their brains receive some of the emotional reward associated with success, even before they have done the actual work. As a result, their motivation to work can decrease. Imagine two people who dream of becoming entrepreneurs. The first person constantly talks about his future business. He tells his friends about his plans, posts motivational quotes online, and spends hours discussing how successful he will become. People praise him. They encourage him. For a moment, he feels successful. The second person speaks very little. Instead of talking, he spends his time studying the market, learning new skills, making mistakes, and improving every day. Months later, the first person may still be talking, while the second person may already have built a real business. Successful people understand this principle deeply. They know that dreams grow stronger through action, not discussion. They prefer to let their work speak for itself. Another reason successful people remain quiet is that they understand human nature. Not everyone will support your dreams. Some people will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will discourage you. Many people do not do this intentionally. Often, they simply project their own fears and limitations onto others. If they never chase their own dreams, they may struggle to believe that you can achieve yours. Successful people understand this reality. They know that early-stage dreams are fragile. Just like a seed needs protection while it is growing, dreams also need protection. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. In the beginning, it is delicate. It cannot survive harsh conditions. It requires patience, care, and time. If it is constantly disturbed, it may never become a strong tree. Dreams are exactly the same. This is why successful people do not reveal every plan to everyone. They share their ambitions selectively. They seek advice from mentors, experienced individuals, and people who genuinely care about their growth. They do not seek approval from the entire world. Successful people also understand the incredible power of listening. Most people enter conversations with the intention of speaking. They wait impatiently for their turn to talk. They focus on expressing their opinions rather than understanding others. Successful people behave differently. They listen. They observe. They study. Because when you speak, you repeat what you already know. But when you listen, you gain the opportunity to learn something new. Many of history's greatest leaders were exceptional listeners. They understood that information is power. They realized that people reveal far more through careful observation than through direct questions. A quiet person often notices details that others miss. They notice emotions. They notice patterns. They notice intentions. This ability allows successful individuals to make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and avoid unnecessary mistakes. Silence also strengthens emotional control. Life is full of challenges. There will be criticism, misunderstandings, failures, disappointments, and conflicts. Most people react immediately when emotions become intense. They argue. They defend themselves. They say things they later regret. Successful people understand that emotional reactions are often costly. They know that not every criticism deserves a response. Not every insult deserves attention. Not every disagreement requires a battle. Instead of reacting instantly, they pause. They think. They analyze. Then they decide whether a response is even necessary. This simple habit protects their peace, energy, and reputation. True power is not controlling others. True power is controlling yourself. If someone can easily provoke your anger, then they control you. If someone's opinion can instantly destroy your peace, then they control your emotions. Successful people refuse to surrender this power. They understand that emotional discipline is one of the most valuable skills in life. Another reason successful people stay quiet is that they no longer depend on external validation. Many people constantly seek approval from others. They want recognition, praise, and admiration. Their self-worth depends on what other people think about them. This creates a dangerous situation because people are unpredictable. Today they may praise you. Tomorrow they may criticize you. If your confidence depends entirely on public opinion, your emotional state will constantly fluctuate. Successful people gradually learn a different approach. They build internal validation. Their confidence comes from keeping promises to themselves. It comes from discipline. It comes from overcoming difficulties. It comes from personal growth. Every challenge they overcome strengthens their self-belief. Every difficult task completed builds self-respect. As a result, they no longer feel the need to constantly announce their value. They already know who they are. Silence also protects focus. Modern life is filled with distractions. Endless notifications, social media, entertainment, news, and arguments compete for our attention every second. Attention is one of the most valuable resources we possess. Successful people guard it carefully. They understand that every unnecessary argument consumes mental energy. Every pointless debate steals attention. Every distraction delays progress. This is why many highly successful individuals avoid unnecessary drama. They choose progress over popularity. They choose purpose over attention. They understand that the world rewards results, not noise. Perhaps the most important reason successful people stay quiet is because true confidence is calm. Insecure people often feel compelled to prove themselves. They exaggerate achievements. They seek constant recognition. They compare themselves to others. But genuine confidence behaves differently. A truly confident person does not need to constantly announce their importance because they already understand their value. A mountain does not tell the world that it is tall. The ocean does not announce its depth. Similarly, successful individuals allow their actions, character, consistency, and achievements to speak on their behalf. This does not mean that successful people never speak. They absolutely do. They speak when their words create value. They speak when they can teach, inspire, or help others. They speak when principles need defending. But they have learned an important lesson. Meaningful words are powerful precisely because they are not wasted. In a world filled with endless noise, the ability to remain silent, focused, disciplined, and purposeful has become a rare superpower. And perhaps this is the real secret behind why successful people stay quiet. It is not because they have nothing to say. It is because they understand that their actions will eventually say everything that needs to be said. As people move further along the path of success, they begin to realize something that most individuals never fully understand. Life becomes much easier when you stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. Many people spend years seeking recognition, validation, and approval from others. They want people to admire them, praise them, and acknowledge their worth. But truly successful people eventually discover that the need for constant validation is one of the greatest obstacles to personal growth. When you constantly seek approval, you unconsciously give other people control over your emotions. Your happiness depends on praise. Your confidence depends on compliments. Your peace depends on other people's opinions. This creates a fragile identity because opinions constantly change. People may admire you today and criticize you tomorrow. Successful people understand this reality. They know that if they build their self-worth on public opinion, they will never experience true freedom. Instead, they develop an internal source of confidence. Their confidence comes from discipline. It comes from integrity. It comes from keeping promises to themselves, especially when nobody is watching. Every early morning workout completed in silence builds confidence. Every difficult decision made with courage builds confidence. Every obstacle overcome without giving up builds confidence. Over time, these private victories become far more important than public praise. This is why successful individuals often appear calm. They are not trying to impress anyone because they are no longer competing for approval. Their focus has shifted inward. They measure themselves against who they were yesterday, rather than comparing themselves to everyone else. Another reason successful people remain quiet is because they understand the importance of protecting their energy. Energy is one of life's most valuable resources. Every conversation, every argument, every distraction, and every emotional conflict consumes energy. Most people spend enormous amounts of energy on things that ultimately do not matter. They argue online with strangers. They respond to every criticism. They become involved in unnecessary drama. They try to convince people who have already decided not to understand them. Successful people rarely do this. They understand that energy invested in meaningless battles is energy stolen from meaningful goals. Imagine carrying a bucket filled with water while trying to climb a mountain. Every unnecessary argument creates another hole in that bucket. Eventually, all the water disappears before you reach the top. Life works in a similar way. Every unnecessary conflict drains mental and emotional resources. Successful people carefully decide where to invest their attention because they know attention determines destiny. This does not mean they avoid all conflict. Instead, they choose their battles wisely. They ask themselves important questions. Will this matter 1 year from now? Will responding improve the situation? Is this argument aligned with my values and goals? If the answer is no, they often choose silence. This ability to remain silent when silence is appropriate is a sign of maturity, not weakness. Successful people also understand the incredible power of patience. Modern society encourages instant gratification. Everyone wants immediate results. People want success quickly, wealth quickly, recognition quickly, and transformation quickly. But meaningful success rarely happens quickly. Great businesses take years to build. Strong character takes years to develop. Mastery requires thousands of hours of practice. Deep relationships require time. Financial freedom requires patience. Successful people understand that growth often occurs quietly. Consider a bamboo tree. For years after planting, very little appears above the ground. To an outside observer, it may seem as if nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, an extensive root system is developing. Then, after years of invisible growth, the bamboo suddenly grows rapidly. Human success often follows the same pattern. Most people only see visible achievement. They see the promotion, the successful company, the book, the wealth, or the recognition. What they do not see are the years of quiet effort, the late nights, the failures, the sacrifices, the self-doubt, the continuous learning. Successful people accept this process. They do not need immediate recognition because they understand that lasting success is built slowly. Silence also creates space for reflection. In today's world, constant noise surrounds us. Notifications, entertainment, conversations, social media, advertisements, and endless information compete for our attention every second. As a result, many people rarely spend time alone with their own thoughts. This is dangerous because self-awareness cannot develop without reflection. Successful people intentionally create moments of silence. They spend time thinking. They evaluate their decisions. They examine their mistakes. They question their beliefs. They analyze their progress. Many of history's greatest thinkers valued solitude. They understood that deep thinking rarely occurs in environments filled with constant distraction. Self-reflection allows successful people to identify weaknesses before those weaknesses become serious problems. It allows them to learn from failures. It allows them to adjust their direction. Most importantly, it allows them to remain connected to their values and purpose. Another important reason successful people stay quiet is humility. True success often produces humility rather than arrogance. The more a person learns, the more they realize how much remains unknown. Truly accomplished individuals understand that there is always more to learn. There is always another perspective. There is always room for improvement. Because of this, they remain curious. They ask questions. They listen carefully. They continue learning regardless of their achievements. Ironically, people who know very little often speak with the greatest certainty. They believe they already possess all the answers. Successful people recognize the opposite. They understand that learning never ends. This humility keeps them open-minded, adaptable, and continuously improving. Successful individuals are also extremely careful about whom they trust. This does not mean they become cynical or suspicious of everyone. It simply means they recognize human nature. People change, Circumstances change, interests change. Not everyone who smiles genuinely supports your growth. For this reason, successful people often maintain healthy boundaries. They reveal personal goals selectively. They protect sensitive information. They understand that privacy can be a source of strength. Again, this is not secrecy driven by fear. It is wisdom driven by experience. Another powerful lesson successful people learn is that not everyone deserves access to their dreams. Dreams are valuable. Goals are personal. Ambitions require protection. When an idea is new, excessive criticism can destroy confidence before progress even begins. Successful people therefore share their dreams carefully. They seek guidance from mentors, trusted advisors, and supportive individuals rather than broadcasting every intention publicly. Perhaps the deepest reason successful people remain quiet is because they understand that peace is priceless. No amount of money, fame, or achievement can compensate for a restless mind. Many people sacrifice their peace trying to impress others. They constantly compare themselves. They constantly compete. They constantly seek attention. But successful people eventually realize that inner peace creates outer success. When your mind is calm, your decisions improve. When your emotions are stable, your relationships improve. When your attention is focused, your productivity improves. When your priorities are clear, your life improves. Silence helps protect that peace. It creates emotional space. It reduces unnecessary stress. It strengthens self-control. And self-control is one of the greatest predictors of long-term success. This does not mean you should remain silent all the time. There are moments when speaking is necessary. Speak when truth must be defended. Speak when someone needs encouragement. Speak when wisdom can help others. Speak when injustice requires courage. But learn the difference between meaningful communication and unnecessary noise. Because not every thought deserves expression. Not every criticism deserves attention. Not every opinion deserves a response. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. In the end, successful people stay quiet because they understand something profound. Life is not about appearing successful. It is about becoming successful. And becoming successful requires focus, discipline, patience, humility, emotional control, and inner peace. These qualities are developed quietly. So the next time you meet someone who speaks less, listens more, remains calm under pressure, and works silently toward meaningful goals, do not mistake their silence for weakness. Their silence may actually be their greatest strength, because true power rarely announces itself. True power is calm. True power is disciplined. True power is patient. And very often, true power is silent.